I don't know if this is going to go the right way or it's going to go the wrong way. You never know with Brad Vicars and his lot. Brad, hello, welcome back to the Isle of Man. Sadly, not on a motorcycle, but how's it been for you? I've asked the other guys about the lockdown. It's been different for everybody that we've spoken to. I mean, you've got Daniel in Colombia, you've got Veronica over there in the Czech Republic, and you've got you in Tadcaster.
What's everybody else's answer been to that one, Chris?
Well, Daniel was telling me they've been locked down since something like the beginning of March, and there's still big lockdown over there, and he hasn't even had a haircut, so he's very not happy.
Oh, that's not good, is it? I've been cutting my own hair, to be fair. It's getting out a bit of control now.
Have that myself, obviously. Yeah, just do that bit there.
I was just about to mention that, mate. Yeah, I was just about to mention that. We're getting onto that. We've got it onto it already, haven't we?
We have. I've got to ask you, you have seen a bit of race action. The other week you were at Scarborough. How was that?
Yeah, good, mate. Took a while getting into it. I wasn't right fussed about it, to be honest. I mean, leading up to it, I wasn't right fussed about it, and then sort of got into it a little bit throughout practice and racing. But yeah, come away strong results. Happy with it, to say. I haven't been on the bike throughout all the year. People have been out doing doing track days and test days and the odd little club meeting and whatnot. I haven't. I've just been working, and then jump on a bike and go around Scarborough. So some people might think it's daft, like, but it's just how it was for me. And
yeah, but it's what you do, isn't it? You're bike racing. What was it like, the atmosphere there? I mean, obviously limited spectators. What was it like? Was it totally different? I'd expect. I was supposed to be there myself with Tony doing the commentary, but obviously,
yeah. I mean, the spectator thing, I didn't really notice too much, other than obviously there was a lot less people in the paddock. It was just literally, the riders and the associated mechanics really in the paddock. But spectators, I'm not 100% sure on. I know they had a limit of 2,500 per day. And up in the trade village, they had to wear a mask and all the rest of it. So, but as I've seen at the side of the fence, there was a few in the field opposite the paddock and that not. But I didn't really notice much up top, to be honest, mate.
Let's go back to 2017, the Manx Grand Prix debut for you. Obviously, for those who don't know, Brad and his family, etc., have been around the bike scene for a long time. Tell us how it all started for you. When we look at the Manx Grand Prix in the moment, how did the bike racing job come about? Was it always something you wanted to do?
My dad started racing in 2003, and obviously I've always gone along, picked up bits and bats. Eventually, probably now looking back, thinking it was quite worrying. Really, I started turning a few spanners and whatnot, just helping out here and there, and then the back end of 2010. He said to me, and I've always referred to my dad as like a great ape, or an orangutan, as I now call him. But and back end of 2010, he came to me and says, "Do you fancy a crack at racing?" And I thought, well, if a great ape like you can do it, how hard can it be? That was it. The 7th of April 2011 was where it all began for me at Elvington Park.
There's a lot of people started their careers at Elvington.
Yeah, Auto 66 as well. It's Sam and Alex Lowe's. They started with Auto 66 and down that route. Dean Harrison, I believe. I think that was one of his first meetings. A lot of lads have come through that sort of route of Elvington and down there. So yeah, I didn't get to race too many times at Elvington, to be fair, because it got shut down. It might have been, I can't remember if it was in my first year or second year of racing. It got shut down because of noise pollution, even though it's an airfield or something. I don't know. So, it's like Donington Park, and people move next to Donington Park and then complain about the racetrack.
Like Croft.
And they've got East Midlands Airport right next door to them.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's why move near a racetrack and then complain about noise?
Okay, Brad, the politician. Let's go to the Manx Grand Prix.
That's the story for another day, mate. That
That's
one.
a story for another day. It is. Let's go to the Manx Grand Prix. Obviously, it's always going to be the stepping stone to go on to other things, but it wasn't a bad start for you at the Manx in 2017. 3 years ago, do you remember the race well? The newcomers, eh?
I do remember it well. Yeah, we got a big bollocking. We got a massive telling off, mate. We got practice. I think there was 6 people off in the first night. 6 newcomers off in the first night after the speed controlled lap. I was very nearly number 7.
Where was that?
And then where?
Yeah.
I've tipped in too early into Waterworks.
Ooh. Waterworks 1 or the out?
Waterworks 1. I tipped in too early.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that woke me up a bit, did that. Yeah, I was very nearly number 7. So, yeah, after that first night, sort of, just reeled myself in a little bit. I had a camera on every night. I had a GoPro on every night. Religiously came back from practice, and me and my dad sat down, and we watched the onboard laps over and over and over again, and just tried to get it in my head of, A, make sure where I know where I'm going, B, make sure I'm on the right, I'm on the right line on the track wherever it was, and just sort of generally get my head round, the speed of the place, and try and get a bit more up to speed, to be honest.
So the bike you were on then, was that your dad's old bike, or was it your own that you bought yourself? Because in the same colours, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the same colours. No, it was. I bought it in 2016 off my good late friend James Cowton, and that it's always had a special place in James's heart as that bike, and I'll never let it go.
You still got it?
Yeah, it's still got it, mate. Still got it. Still ride it now. It's in Robbie's colours at the minute. Yeah, it's done a lot for me as that bike. I think I've only been off it once as well, so very nearly twice at the Isle of Man.
Yeah, very nearly.
So, but yeah, and then all throughout practice week, same again, just watching newcomers on board laps, and after every night of practice, even like leading up to it. I mean, I was over there. I must have gone over in the car 7 or 8 times. 7 or 8 weekends at a time. Just every other weekend or whatever, just jumped on the ferry, jumped on the plane, gone over, got in a car, went over with James. Went over for a full weekend with James, just me and James. Stayed at my good friend Sam Martin's in Castletown. We had some weekend, did that. Some weekend.
Some good nights out in Castletown then, yeah?
Yeah. Went for go for a pizza or something. I can't remember. Is it the George?
Yeah, the George, yeah.
Is it the George hot pub? Yeah, I went for a pizza and then all right. Good bit of crack. A few beers. Got up the next morning, went and spun a load more laps in the car.
So he won the newcomers A. Then he did the junior Manx in his first year, finished 9th. Then he moved on to the lightweight class. Just that podium never just seemed to come, did it, until last year. And then, of course, in the middle of all that, you had your big accident at Scarborough as well. And for those who don't know, because there's people who, I've said this in a couple of interviews I've done, people are going to be looking at this who are going to go, I know who he is, but you've been through, like Nathan Harrison, you've been through the mixer to get yourself right again, haven't you?
Oh, I've been through the mixer, all right, boy. I mean, I'm still, someone actually commented today at work, your leg's like a bloody elephant's foot. Yeah, it's huge, like just the swelling on it, and it's something that I'm sort of gonna maybe look into over winter. Just go see the surgeon, see if they can do anything for the swelling on it, and just try and help it out a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, just been through the mill, all right. But I've been through washing machine with it. Oh, definitely.
Does it affect you? Have you had to change your riding style at all?
Not the riding style as such. No, I mean I've had to. I mean, I've jumped through a lot of hoops to come back racing, and especially that year, I had to jump through quite a lot of hoops to come back. I I went and I was still on the sick from work. It doesn't matter now because I'm not in that job anymore. I was still on the sick from work. I went and did a 2-day track day up at Croft when I was still on the sick. And we come back from, we come back getting ready. The following weekend, I went to Darley Moor to get the required signatures for my race licence. The ACU agreed to put an extension on the mountain golf licence for me. And then I did basically 4 days riding on the bike and then straight down Bray Hill.
That was 18. That was 18, wasn't it?
That was 2018. Yeah, that, and I got the frame, the cage off my leg the week of the Southern 100, which I was obviously hoping to make, but obviously didn't. So I got the frame off my leg the week of the Southern, and then went to do a track day about 2 weeks later. And then went to Darley Moor, did the 2 meetings, did the 2-day meeting there to get my signatures, and then straight down Braille about 3 weeks later. So, yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong, the strength wasn't quite there in my leg. I was still limping really, really badly. I had to, I've had to have my levers and boots adapted a little bit. I think I had to have 2.5 inches put into the boots. Just purely because of my legs. So.
That's around your calf muscle and round by your ankle, yeah?
Yeah, around my calf and shin and that. So, just 2.5 inches. It's a lot.
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's nearly 60 mil if you want to talk it in old speak, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know, mate.
Don't know about that.
I'm not old school like you.
Let's talk about crossing the line in the Senior Manx Grand Prix last year. I mean, I was there in the winners' enclosure, and the whole family's there. And it was, and even Robbie had a smile.
Yeah, Mr. Sylvester had a smile on his face, didn't he? And I'd gone through a lot last year with everything. Not just racing wise, just a lot of other stuff as well, and then got to. I think I did just short of 120 coming. Might have been on the first lap in the senior race. And my dad thought he's going to be gutted if he don't get 120 mile an hour. I did 119 or something in my first year, so I wanted to crack it in the second year. Obviously, didn't crack it in the second year. I think I just about matched it, but then I wanted to crack it in the third year for definite. And I did 121 or something on the last lap in the senior, which obviously was enough to just get me third place. And it was like deja vu 2017 all over again with Darryl Tweed behind me, wasn't it? But yeah, we got there in the end. The result came that week. It was that 2 weeks, mate. It was just stressful as hell. Just I snapped the crank on the 650. Engine on the 600 was knackered. Just problem after problem we encountered, and just the result came in the end. You know what I mean? We just persevered, bashed on. Spent so many hours up at Slicks on the dyno and everything, and me and Robbie and them were there until 2-3 in the morning some nights, and putting engines back in 2 hours before practice. I'll just eventually came round and got the job done, really.
See, a lot of people don't see that side of it, do they? A lot of people don't see the hours put up the dyno or taking an engine out, putting an engine back in.
People just think it gets rolled out the back of a van from a workshop and that's it, you go racing, but there's a lot more to it than that. A lot more to it. So there's all the prep, all the work that goes into it beforehand, meeting.